New South Wales driver Colin Bond. From 3, Michelle Delcourt from Belgium. From 4 is Jimmy Richards of Victoria. From 5, Alan Moffat, who returns to racing. From 6 is Italy's Roberto Ravaglia. From 7, Queensland's own Dick Johnson. From 8 is Venezuela's Johnny Cicotto. From 9, New Zealander's Denny Holm. And rounding out the top 10, Robbie Francevic of New Zealand.
And there's cars jumping away from the back of the grid well in advance of when the flag was dropped. 10 identical Nissan Pulsar turbos in the M&M International Super Challenge as they roar down to the end of the pit straight for the first time, and it's Colin Bond in the lead. Behind him, car number 1, Tim Slago from Western Australia, as they head up Mountain Straight for the first time, door handle to door handle.
Tim Slago well positioned on the outside, and moving up on the inside is Jim Richards. Looking for the inside pass on Colin Bond in car number 2. But Bond will lead them through GTX on the run to the top of the mountain for the first time.
In 4th place, and a bit of a gap back to that position, Michelle Delcourt, the Belgian touring car champion in the tan-coloured car, is now Richards. Challenges on the outside to the former Australian rally and touring car champion Colin Bond.
Bond, Richards, Slago as they top the mountain, then Delcourt, Dick Johnson in the yellow car. But the top 3 have got a break as they climb towards the top.
Colin Bond leads them through. Alan Moffat fighting me some racing room in there. Dick Johnson's gained 1 spot as they come across the mountain for the first time. There's Johnson, car number 3 going through. Delcourt well positioned at this stage. Now the approach off the top to the sand pit.
All the Nissan Pulsars are turbocharged 1.5-litre engines, front-wheel drive. They're on unbuffed radial tyres, and a real handful, as you can see, across the top of Skyline. Now down towards the dipper. Look at Delcourt, the car dreadfully sideways.
Sent the horses for a bit of a gallop off the side of the track there.
Some drafting going on as they hit the halfway point on Conrod Straight.
I love the way they just pop into view there.
Tim Slago putting plenty of pressure on here as well.
Richards
Jim Richards.
Slago, Bond, nose to tail, the 3 of them with a good gap on the field as they come round to complete the first lap.
Jim Richards was the winner of this year's Turbo Super Challenge run throughout Australia, picking up a massive prize pool of $50,000. The prize pool today, $15,000, and at the moment Jim Richards leads the field from Slago, then Bond. Dick Johnson, car number 7. Behind him in car 9 is Denny Holm.
He's come from nowhere, Denny Holm. He was right back in the at the rear of the field halfway through that first lap.
Michelle Delcourt has dropped back in car 3. Behind him in car 8, Johnny Cicotto. 5 in behind there is Alan Moffat. Then 10 in 9th position.
There's some nudging going on there halfway up the mountain straight. But Jim Richards from Victoria, formerly, of course, from New Zealand. Tim Slago of Western Australia.
And everybody in Perth will be cheering at the moment as Tim Slago gets the little green car up into 2nd place and applies some pressure to the leader. Through the S's, then they plunge through the dipper.
And look at the big break back to the next pair, Dick Johnson and Denny Holm, coming down off the top of the mountain. So the race is being run in several divisions. We've got 3 up front.
Look at Richards' car as it understeers out of Forest Elbow onto Conrod Straight now for the last time. And Bondi will have to effect the big drafting manoeuvre if he's going to improve 1 position. Tim Slago, no doubt, will argue, but I think you can put down the glasses on Jim Richards.
So with half of Conrod Straight completed, Jimmy Richards, car number 4, leads the M&M's Nissan Turbo Celebrity Race.
Look at the gap that Tim Slago has pulled on Colin Bond. In fact, he's almost getting to the stage where he may get some sort of draft effect from Richards.
Brakes will be the tail here as they get to the bottom of Conrod, and look at Slago on the outside.
Jim goes in deeper, the brakes come on. We'll see if the cars skate over the racetrack. Slago goes for the inside here as they come out of the bend. He might have the run to the flag. They straighten up across the line, almost a dead heat between Tim Slago and Jim Richards. A great finish.
Well, it looks like Slago might have pinched it in the last desperate gasp.
Tim, it was just sensational, that finish. If the nerves aren't on edge for the big one, they should be now.
Oh, yes, it was quite interesting. They're certainly different to drive. I'm sorry that I touched Jim in the last corner, but it was...
So is Jim.
Yes, so is Jim. He slowed up too much right in the middle of the turn.
So Tim Slako victorious in the M&M's Nissan Turbo Celebrity Race. A West Aussie won and Jim Richards didn't. And that, my friends, is a motorsport rarity.